Hello there. How's it going, guys? MeliSpirit here. How y'all doing today? I can hear everything. Well, you're most welcome. How's it going, Annabelle? Just adjusting a few things. That's good, that's good. Hopefully we get more people to come in. I said around noon, but I was an hour late. Sorry about that. Had to get things done. He was what? I was watching one of your other videos when it told me this. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I was wondering if the notifications things was acting up silly, because I wanted to know if it was, not enough. Whoop. We need to go back there. So there is a 30-second delay between me to you guys, and that's because I want to make sure that you guys are getting the live stream and there's no holds bars. But other than that, I think I will start reading, and hopefully we get joined by more people, and I hope you guys have got yourself some popcorn and you want to sit down or relax and listen to the tale of Seduce Me the Otome. Now, I'm only going to do, guys, this one story because other games I really want to finish up, and this game is free. It's 100% free. You can get it right off of Steam, and then there's a part 2 which you would have to pay for, but it is a great fun game to read and enjoy and giggle about like a little schoolgirl. So anyway, let's get right on to it. As if time zoomed forward, all of a sudden, the main hall of the lobby was full of guests. Men and women in formal or business attire showed up to meet me and see my new home. I didn't expect many to come, but I was once again surprised that night. I shook hands with many officials and executive members, putting on the professional face my dad trained me to have. I felt overwhelmed, but I hid it well behind a small smile and handshake. Many even asked me questions. I tried my best to reply as maturely as possible. I had to remember, say what they want to hear, not what you want to say.
So, how do you feel living on your own at such a young age?
Now, these guys are time-based, so I won't be able to ask you guys for your opinions. What to say. And what to say. So there's all time-based. I'm going to be reading them, and then I will head back to the questionnaire, and I'll show you what they are. It's difficult being independent. I wish I was still living. Could be. I'm doing my best. It's pretty. I'm going to say I'm doing my best.
I'm so sorry about your grandfather passing away. It really hit all of us hard.
Thank you for your condolences.
Do you have college plans?
It's I mostly there's a possibility. I felt like the questions came up one after another. It was tough to answer one of them because they weren't about me. They were about the company.
What do you think will happen with the company now that your grandfather has passed?
Depends on to say. It will get back on track soon.
The philanthropic policy the company has.
If it were up to me, I would be more concerned with marketing
Do
profits.
you think the company should expand from just toys?
It's a possibility. Eventually, questions stopped, and I was back to being by myself. Naomi and Susie were mingling in the crowd, and the incubi were doing their jobs, so I was all alone in a room full of strangers. Now, my answers were sat in.
Do you think
To become.
So,
And so the first question was, see at the timer right here. Now my questions are like already sat in, so I'm gonna say anything. You can see all the questions right here. I won't be able to see them because it goes
Your
fast.
grandfather passing away, it really hit all of us.
so,
Oh, I guess I can't see that. I'm doing my
so
best.
sorry.
Thank you for your
you have-
consultancies. It's up to, it's kind of in the air. I'm just gonna do that, I
what do you
guess.
think will happen with the company?
It will get back on track soon.
What do you think of the...
Blah blah. I don't really pay attention. I
do you
don't
think
care.
the company should
It's a possibility. Suddenly, though, my mom pushed her way through the crowd to me, bringing along someone I didn't know.
Honey, I'd like to introduce you to someone. This kind gentleman is the son of the vice chairman.
With my mother stood a man who looked only a couple of years older than me. He smiled and held out his hand to me, silently asking for my hand.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lewis. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Anderson.
I will simply nod to him and not place my hand in his hand this time around. If you guys do go after this lovely gentleman, you want to make sure you go after him all the way. All the way, alright? Because then you'll get him so bad. Andrew was slightly taken aback, but gently smiled and lowered his hand with a nod in return. My mother smiled at both of us, which made me slightly concerned. Why was she excited to introduce me to Andrew?
So, you organized this party very well, Miss Anderson.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Praise is very much deserved.
Andrew then chuckled, nervously bringing a soft fist to his lips. He was mostly looking at my fluffy butt. Mostly, because his eyes couldn't understand why he could not touch such fluff. To cover his laugh properly, before smiling at me. It was the fluff. It was the fluff, wasn't it? It was the fluff that he desperately desired.
I'm sorry if I seem a little forward. I've just been excited to meet Harold Anderson's granddaughter.
Huh? Why?
He used to talk about you all the time in the office on how you helped him refine his toys. I only attended meetings and heard all of the stories. You've helped a lot with the success of the company without having to actually work there.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he talked about me. That would explain everyone's fascination with me and their rather personal questions. I looked to Andrew, who had a kind face to me. Something about him seemed off, and I didn't know what it was. He seemed to be hiding something. Whether it was good or bad, I was not able to find out. I felt someone walk up beside me, causing me to turn to them. Sorry, guys. Next to me was my dad, giving his cold stare to Andrew, who suddenly became tense.
So, you're Jared's son.
Andrew's body twitched silently. Whether it was fear or insult, Andrew locked eyes with my face. I couldn't help but feel the tension between them. It irked me how fragile the air had become, enough to break at the wrong word.
You're the one who wants to be the next CEO of the Anderson Company.
My dad's basically telling you to not stare at the fluff for too long, or he will basically slug you. I'm sorry already.
Well,
I know. Well, he just wants that ass. He just wants that ass. That ass is just so fluffy. I stared at Andrew. The guy wanted to take my grandfather's place as CEO. I thought the vice chairman wanted the position. Oh my gosh, I'm fighting back yawns and I'm wide awake. Like, what the hell? This is too early for yawns.
David, leave the poor boy alone.
I'm merely testing the boy's conversational skills. Nothing wrong with that.
Of course not, sir.
And polite as well. Interesting.
If you'll excuse me.
Quickly, Andrew retreated away from my family into the crowd of people. I'm gonna stay put, because we don't want Mr. Andrew. I watched as he disappeared into the crowd towards the back of the house. I was worried, but I gave him space. He obviously needed it.
He is not CEO material.
He's not deserving of the fluffy butt, is what Dad's more or less saying.
That's because you practically interrogated the young man.
Yep. You practically interrogated him, because he wants those fluffy butts for himself. He wants them.
A little questioning shouldn't have bothered him. He's obviously not ready for any title in our company.
I bit my tongue. I didn't want to make a scene with my dad. One wrong word and he lectured me in front of everyone. That was not something that I wanted at my house arming party. I let out a sigh before looking at the clock. It was getting close to midnight, meaning that the party was going to end soon. I lowered my gaze out the window and saw a limo pull up. Huh? Whose limo is that?
Oh, that must be Lewis's car.
I'll go get him. Stay with your father so you can escort your guests out together.
Yes, Mom. My mother left my dad and me to slowly escort the guests out. My dad held his simple smile as he thanked each person for coming. I did the same. Andrew quickly passed the door before I could speak. Eventually, only Suzu, Naomi, and my parents and the incubi were left. My dad suddenly walked over and placed a hand on my shoulder with a smile, and I stared up at him, a wave of confusion washing over my face. What?
You did good tonight. I'm proud.
Oh, thank you, Dad.
Keep it up and you'll be a good CEO.
Oh, right.
Alright, your mother and I have to leave. I'm sure Naomi and Suzu need to leave as well. Just because it's Saturday doesn't mean you should stay up all night.
Oh, right.
Thanks for having us. It was a great party. We'll come visit tomorrow or something. All right?
Right. See ya.
Good night, sweetie. Come visit us soon.
Will do. All four of my remaining guests left the building, all but my dad waving back to me. With the last of the guests gone, I sighed and sat on the staircase, exhausted. That was tiring. I need to go fluff up my ass.
It's not like you had to do any work, though.
Give her a break, man. She was getting interrogated left and right.
She handled herself the best she could.
As expected, Princess.
Since you're exhausted, why not head to bed? We can clean up.
Ugh.
Hush, Sam.
I love how Eric gets on Sam's case all the time. Hush, Sam. Be a good boy. Be a good boy. My mind went so in a bad direction. So on Sam and Eric action. So in a bad directions. Are you guys sure?
Positive. It shouldn't take long.
Ho ho ho! It didn't take long to find you little shits after all.
Oh boy. I felt a hot shudder run down my spine. The voice from my dream to echo through the air into my ear. You know, in a way, she sort of has like a premonition sort of deal. Like a psychic premonition. I looked around and panicked alongside the incubi. James placed a hand on my shoulder, trying to remain calm.
Don't worry. No one will hurt you.
Are you sure? Are you really sure?
All of us shot our heads towards the door, finally pinning down the direction of the voice. The doors quickly swung open, revealing a sight I would have never expected to see. Skin red as blood, eyes black and gold, piercing into mine, roughened up clothes and a pistol in his hand, I saw a monster. I covered my mouth to not scream at the sight. Dried blood covered the bandana around his neck as he smirked at me and the boys around me. Beside the red-skinned man was a similar-looking woman in matching thug-like clothes.
Oh, what's the matter, boys? You really didn't think I wouldn't find you, did you?
I hoped you would, you piece of...
All of a sudden, the man raised his gun at Sam's face and instantly pulled the trigger. Oh boy. We all gasped in shock, instantly expecting to see a bullet run through Sam's face, but...
What the fuck?
What?
What should have been a headshot ended with a loud but empty blank shot. The pistol echoed in empty shots as the man grew more and more pissed, pulling the trigger over and over in aggravation. Luckily for my ears, it became quieter after the first shot.
Why the fuck won't you work?
Hello there, Gymnastic. Welcome back to the live stream.
This place is protected.
What did you say, Shrimp?
This place has a seal, protecting it from hellborn magic.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Ah!
The man growled and threw his gun at Sam, who was able to dodge it in time. The pistol bounced off the ground a couple of times before sliding further away, hitting the wall in a final stop. As it stopped moving, the gun faded into black flames. Yeah, fame. Haha! Black fame. Black flame that disappeared into the air. God.
The previous owner had this place protected by magic, Malix.
Malix, that was his name. His existence resonated in my memory from the dream I had. However, I looked to Matthew in the same confusion as Malik did. This place is protected by magic?
It would seem that your grandfather had some sort of protective barrier around this house. From the looks of it, it only disables hellborn magic.
Malik's face grew to that of extreme anger. His fist tightened as if he was crushing a stress ball.
And what's stopping me from dragging your asses out and shooting you then?
Out of pure instinct, I stepped forward and placed myself between Malik and the boys. With no power, Malik wasn't going to fight. I took the chance to stand up to him instead of being powerless like I was in the dream. Get out of my house. Malik growled at me, walking right up to me and leaning close to my face. I glared back, feeling my courage skyrocket.
Since when does a little stain like you give orders to a guy who can rip your pretty little head from your body?
You really don't think, do you? If you kill me, you'd be hunted down by more than just the police.
You little...
Duck! I ducked underneath Malik's incoming hand. I stared at his hand and his black-flamed tattoos in surprise. As I took a couple of steps back from Malik, Matthew and Damon stepped in front of me, guarding me from Malik with his arms.
A quick one. I'm liking you more and more.
Back off, Malix!
Don't start acting tough, you pathetic excuse of a demon. You need more protection than her.
Shut up!
Oh, did I make little Matthew cry? Why don't you just grow a pair?
Enough, Malix.
The woman who had been standing in silence the whole time planted a firm hand on Malik's shoulder. Malik looked back at her with a growl and a glare that could kill.
Since when did you get the guts to speak out of place?
We both know you've never controlled me. I want them dead just like you do. But now's not the time.
Fuck off! I know what I'm doing.
He sure does.
Do you? Even if you did fight them, there's 5 against 2. We never win.
Shut up!
Let's go, Melix! We're wasting our time!
The two growled at each other. If they could have used their magic, I would sense that fire would glow from under their teeth. Malik grunted and glared at the boys. He pointed at James, wanting so badly to use his fingers like a knife. By the way, Gymnastic, I'm sorry, but I didn't say that.
Just wait, pretty boys. We'll get you and fuck you up real good.
Malik's is a pervert. Oh my god, he wants to do the boys. Jeez Louise. Hello there, Clarissa. You're not that late. You're only 24 minutes late. Don't worry about it. Then Malik turned to me, moving his fingers to point directly between my eyes.
And don't think you're safe. Step outside. I dare you.
As he laughed and looked at my fluffy ass. He wanted to know what it would feel to feel such fluffiness. With that, Malik and the woman walked out of the mansion. The doors closed behind them, leaving the boys and I alone once again. I felt my knees give out from under me, forcing the boys to really turn to catch me.
Whoa, whoa! Are you alright?
Yeah? Why was he here?
He's been closely tracking us. Our blood trail from the forest must have led him here.
We should have stopped him and finished it here.
For once, Matthew, I agree with you.
I stood up and rubbed my arms, feeling the goosebumps Malik left behind on me. I couldn't stop myself from shivering in fear of his words. Malik, was he a demon?
That son of a bitch is not a demon. He's a devil.
A devil? There's a difference?
Yes. Demons come from a different plane of existence called the Abyssal Planes. Devils, however, come from one of the 7 circles of a place humans know. It's hell. Despite us not being human, we are very different creatures.
We actually have brains, for one. Devils always like to cause trouble and try to kill or torture others for their own enjoyment. Demons, like us, know when to use our powers and when not to.
He wanted to pull out the fluff in the ass. That's what he wanted to do, wasn't it? Wasn't it, guys? He wanted to pull out that fluff. No!
Devils follow orders from higher-ups in their order, and their power only comes from their connection to hell. Demons all have free wills and don't rely on where they came from to use their powers.
This was so confusing. Demons and devils and magic all existed, and I happened to land in the middle of it. What do we do?
You're safe. You've been protected as well.
What?
What Damien's saying is that the magic that protects this place also protects you.
Your grandfather must have cast it when you last saw him or something of that nature. We can sense its aura around your body.
I couldn't believe my ears. There was a magic fluff ball basically protecting the whole entire house and myself. No wonder my ass has been so fluffy. What's up there, lay down, clown? Let's go. This is called Seduce Me the Otome. I couldn't believe my ears. It was the 3rd day of surprises, and this one took the cake in being the most surprising. I felt my head spin once again. What did I get myself into?
Miss, please don't worry. We'll find a way to train ourselves and become stronger to finally finish this feud.
Kick his ass right now!
Until then, we'll protect you as much as we can. If Malix comes back, we'll be here for you.
But what about going outside? Won't he?
Like we said, you have a protection spell on you. Even if Malix attacks you, he won't be able to use his magic on you. He'd be just like any other human you can fight back against.
Didn't you say you knew Taekwondo?
Well, yeah. I felt somewhat relieved that I was mostly safe from Malik. I still could not help but feel very nervous and apprehensive about the future. The boys were safe here to train and become stronger. But what if Malik did the same? Gymnastic. At least I had time. I went to bed the night feeling nervous, despite the words of the incubi. I felt like a target to something I'd never be able to explain or prove. Magic, devils, demons. How did this all even happen? Should I really meddle with this situation? They are only staying until after they defeat Malik. That's right. They said they only stay until after they defeat Malik. After that, my life could go back to normal. Temporarily, insanity, as Kay would say. The question was then, would I want them to leave? If my life went back to normal then, I have to care for the house all on my own. I get to focus on my life instead of being distracted by the boys. I'd have to... My life. Where was my life going anyway? I was under pressure from my parents, with only my friends and the boys to comfort me. Without the boys, I have no way to hide from my responsibilities. Enough. Let's just sleep and deal with tomorrow when it comes. Defeating my sense of thought, I focused myself to sleep, unsure of what tomorrow had planned for me. Hopefully, whatever the future had for me, I would be ready for it.
I promise to be with you forever. You're so important to me.
I swear I'll give my life to you.
Please, let me love you.
I'll be by your side, always.
I can't imagine living without you.
I want to be with you.
I love you.
I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of the dream echo in my head. So many people want this fluffy ass. Holy shit. I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of my dreams echo in my head, and forced me awake. I rubbed my eyes before sitting up and looking at my clock. 7 a.m. Why am I up so early? I fell back onto the bed and closed my eyes, trying to go back to sleep. However, something kept me awake. Why? It's too early to even be alive. I gave up and sat up, staring at the fireplace across from my bed. A sigh escaped from between my lips before I threw my legs over the side of the bed. What to do at 7 a.m. in the morning? We'll explore the house. I decided it was a good idea to wander around the house. I never really explored it much as a child, so there was bound to be new surprises. Well, come on, feet, let's go on an adventure. I stood and exited my room, hoping that the boys were still asleep. I began to wander the halls. On the end the halls on my end of the house, opening each door to find what room each door led to. Quickly I found an old office, a desk, and chair sat by the far side. A large bookshelf, documents, and memorable donned its nooks and crannies. There were a couple of pictures of me growing up peeking from the shelves as I walked further into the room. I don't believe I've been in here before. Oh my gosh, guys. I tried to recall memories of ever seeing this room, coming up with nothing as a result. This room was new to me. Did I want to disturb the furniture? I'm curious. I gently opened the shelves and any drawers I saw in the room, and a couple of them were books and even sewing kits. Sewing kits. I'm going back to Dead by Daylight here. Being the murder. I assumed they were used for my grandfather's toys, so I left them alone. One drawer, however, was locked, no matter how many times I pulled. Come on, open! Nothing. It would not budge. The drawer beside it, though, did, revealing a laptop. Why is there a laptop in a drawer? By the way, Melly, when you make dinner, make pizza. Pizza, 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 hot pizza, 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 pizza. Oh my god. McDonald's pizza. I lifted it from the drawer and carried it over to the desk and chair, opening it. It was a high-tech laptop with a retained scanner and a pass lock. I was not sure whether or not to try to unlock it or not. I'm gonna leave this choice up to you guys. Should we try or should we not try? The boys' pizza. Try. I decided to try. I turned on the computer and leaned my face near the retina scanner, lining the camera up with my eye. To my surprise, I heard a ping from the computer before the screen opened to a desktop. Huh? Look at that! On the desktop were the documents and folders labeled with different aspects of the Anderson Company. Taxes, profits, bylaw, products. The list went on and on. If I really did want to become the CEO of the Anderson Toy Company, I had everything about it at my fingertips. Dad would sure be impressed. One icon, however, stood out from the rest. Virago. Double-clicked the icon, but no window came up. Instead, I heard a large click from the drawer that was locked. What the? I slowly left my seat and walked over to the drawer, attempting to open it again. It slid open slowly in the direction of my pulling hand, revealing two books. One was plain black journal and with a tie to keep it closed. The other was bound in leather with cryptic symbols all over the cover. Clarissa says, try the weekly special. Fluffy ass pizza. I took out the journal and skimmed through it, seeing my grandfather in snow. They were all detailed explanations and opinions on his findings on demon magic. He really did know about magic. I sat down at the desk and read through the journal, further finding drawings and sketches of symbols and magic circles, each with their own different meanings and effects. It was all fascinating. There was even a page of important spells to know. I read through them, trying to memorize them into my mind. I don't know what came over me, but I started to feel more energetic and more powerful simply reading my grandfather's notes. I was suddenly aware of the energy that surrounded my body, the power that was around the house. The more I read, the more powerful I became. However, my mind suddenly froze and I found myself walking back to the drawer, putting the book back and closing the drawer. The lock reset and I snapped out of it. What? I shook my head and looked at the drawer, realizing what I had done. I walked over to the desk and reopened the lock and suddenly felt the need to stop. Something held me back and didn't want me to pry anymore that I already had. I was curious beyond belief, but I obeyed. My thoughts for now. Eventually I would come back and look into it. I returned to bed, feeling the weights of the morning drag me under my covers to try sleeping again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep. It was Sunday, and nothing was happening today. I'm in $10 trillion for slice, huh? Oh my goodness. Come on, eyes, back to sleep. I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I looked at my phone to check the time once again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer. Why is time going so slowly? It always seems to go fast for me, though. I sighed, got changed into normal clothes, and went out to the main hall and sat on the stairs. Sunday were very boring. However, the muffled sounds of battle caught my attention. Huh? I quickly went out to the backyard in response to the noise I had heard. In the yard were all 5 of the boys practicing fighting. Sam was in the middle, with the other 4 surrounding him and throwing punches and kicks at him. Sam, being the strongest of the bunch, blocked and dodged each almost masterfully. So, should we just serve the boys, or should we say, hey? Oh, Clarissa, you just got timed out. I don't know why. It's supposed to let you use some caps, but I don't know why. But he doesn't. He doesn't let you use caps. You can use caps for a little bit, but after that, I don't know. I'm still new to Mr. Nightbot. He's a good help. He's really good help, but I'm still trying to figure him out. Hey, gymnastics, how's it going? All at once, the boys looked at me, frozen in their movements. I just stood at the doorway, and yes, I'll say, hey! Staring at them after my outburst, James was the first to break away from the group, stepping towards me. Here's something I didn't want to happen. Hello, Annabelle. All at once the boys looked at me, frozen in their movements. I just stood at the doorway, staring at them after my outburst. James was the first to break away from the group, stepping towards me.
Good morning. We apologize if we woke you up.
Hello, hello. Annabelle, how's it going? No, it's fine. I've been awake for a while now. I'm sorry I interrupted.
It's quite all right. We needed to stop anyway. We don't want to overwork Sam.
Oh, come on, I can handle more than those pity punches.
Your mind seems grateful that we've stopped.
Shut up, Damien.
Damien read his mind.
Oh crap, we should probably make some lunch. I'm sure you're starving.
I can handle lunch if you like. You all seem to be very busy training to beat Melix. I'll take care of it today.
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah, why not? I'm not useless. I know how to cook and do other stuff too.
Well, no, I wasn't insinuating.
What he means to say is that we'd be really grateful if you could make lunch today.
No problem. As I turned into the kitchen, the boys went back to training. They seemed very determined to get better and to become stronger. Might as well make lunch today. It's been a while since I cooked. Lunch wasn't particularly hard. I decided to make... I know what you guys want. You want the pizza. Pizza is always good, no matter what time of day it is. Do we have any? Luckily, we had some pizza in the freezer to heat up. Pizza amore, baked with love pizza, and some lovely fluff. Had all the makings of pizza types, including pepperoni, sausages, mushrooms, and extra fluff. Just top it, bake it, and serve. I have to get more later. Placed the food in the dining room. However, none of the boys were there. By the time I brought the final dish out, I carried the dish to the main lobby, catching the boys separating into different rooms of the house. Part of me wanted to go to one in particular. The other part of me wanted to just leave them be and take the food in my hand to my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys focus on training. So, we're gonna go find one of the incubi, right, guys? Girls? I quickly rushed back and grabbed a second food dish before hunting down one of the boys. I found James in the library, sitting in one of the comfy leather seats, reading a book. As I stepped in, James looked up at me before closing the book and standing.
Oh, hello.
Hey, James. I got some lunch for you.
That is very kind of you. Thank you.
James took his food and sat back down, placed the book he was reading on the table in front of him, and setting the dish on his lap.
I'm sorry. I should have asked you first before exploring the house and finding this room.
Huh? Oh no, you're fine. Remember, you live here too, so any room besides mine is free to be in.
Still, you're the master of the house. I should have asked.
It's fine, really. James nodded at me with an understanding smile before eating his food. I followed along and ate with him, taking the open chair beside his. We ate in silence, listening in the absence in the room. Absence in the room, I bet. That was probably that instead of absence. I don't even know if absence is even a word. Soon, however, I began to feel a little restless. Check out the book, shall we, guys? I put my food down on the table and lifted the book to examine it. Love and Romance, a study of intimacy. James was reading a love book. James and I small nervous cough before he stopped eating and placed his food on the table. Did I caught your mind in the cookie jar there, James? Did I?
Demons and humans are very different when it comes to affairs of the heart. I merely wanted to try learning a little more while I had the chance. I found that while I was looking around the room and had only just begun reading.
Love is different to demons. How so? James smiled before crossing his legs, getting comfy for the small lecture he was about to give.
Love isn't just a human emotion, miss. Demons like us feel them too. In fact, incubi and succubi feel emotions the most because of our link to sexual energy. However, we don't really experience love. We know of lust and passion.
But passion deserves love.
For humans, yes. For demons, it fuels our need to breed and increase the strength of our lineage as well as quells the hunger we have for sexual energy. It's very hard for us to develop feelings from passion, despite how easy it may logically seem.
You hunger for energy? I could tell I struck a nerve with James as I mentioned the word hunger. His arm twitched, obviously wanting to do something other than remain on armrest of his chair. He continued speaking regardless.
Sexual energy is our natural food source and is one of two ways to keep us alive. In the abyssal planes, there are many demons to feed off of who are always willing to give their energy up, so sexual hunger is never an issue.
Hey, how's it going? Gee, thanks out. I'm still not getting Stream Warrior exactly working right. It just kind of sucks. I haven't seen it work yet. Not yet. I haven't seen it work yet.
In the human world, however, we've come to realize that getting energy is a little more difficult.
Can't you just touch a human for their energy like you all did with me?
That only gives us so much. A touch is merely a taste, while intimate sex is a banquet for us.
Oh my. I guess that was true. Humans weren't all about sex and were probably a lot more conservative than demons. At least it would be hard to gain sexual energy from a human without doing something to them or catching them in the right mood.
This is why we have a mind-altering ability to convince humans to give in to their desires. It's not 100% effective, but it gives us a better possibility to get what we need.
What if you don't feed on sexual energy? What's the other way to stay alive?
Food, typically. However, we're weak without actual sexual energy. Without sexual energy, we become less than human. We have no power nor moral consciousness. We basically start to become unfriendly.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, what should I say here, guys? Yep, it was in a timeout. I'm sorry. It's that cap and Nightblock basically blocks people from putting too many caps. Because I know you're all excited. Guys, quit making a love to Nightblock there. All right, let's do it. Are you hungry now? James didn't reply. He simply stared at me, unable to answer. However, I could tell that he was. He was clutching the armrest tightly, digging his fingers into the leather. I gently leaned close to him from my chair and reached to brush my fingers over his hand. If you really need energy, I'll help a little. No sex, but enough to stop the hunger, okay? Once again, I was greeted with silence from James. He seemed very nervous and uncertain about what to do now. That's the approval was there. Now that the approval was there. Sorry, guys. He was also frozen from my touch, softly, the barely twitching at the feel of my skin against his. I could feel his hands grip the armrests harder. A small feeling of boldness then ran through my body, forcing me to cover his hand completely with my own, before leaning nose to nose with James in seriousness. Alter my mind if you are concerned about me. I really do want to help you out. All of a sudden, I felt something in my mind snap and ooze into the warm, fluffy feeling I felt before with Sam and Eric. The fluffiness is tingling. The fluffiness is tingling. I felt my body slightly heat up as James released the armrest and gently took my wrist. He gently pulled me out of my chair and onto his lap, having me straddle him with my thighs. He stared deep into my eyes, his own glowing in hunger that I never would have expected to see from him.
I won't go overboard.
Before I knew it, his lips were pressed hard against mine, my head being pulled by his hand on the back of my neck. I gently moved my hands to his shoulders and chest, melting in his lap and enjoying every feeling that ran through my body. I felt hot, desperate, and in need for more than just his kiss. One of my hands slid up his neck into his hair as James lowered his kisses to my neck, gently groaning against my skin. I couldn't help but let out a small whimper of pleasure before reaching up and covering my mouth. I didn't want the others to hear me, and I was positive. I didn't want the others to hear me, and I was positive neither did James. James lowered his free hand to my lower back, pulling my body against his. I felt my energy slowly draining, causing me to cuddle closer to James' hold on me. He lowered his hands to my waist, squeezing it tightly as his tongue ravished my neck. His hand that was on the back of my neck, however, gently came around and held onto a tail of my bow. I sucked in a breath, but James didn't pull it. I sucked in a breath, but James didn't pull it to untie the bow. James lifted his lips from my neck and gently leaned his forehead to mine, rubbing nose to nose with me. He was gently breathing fast, softly, red in the face, as he deep into the moment as I was.
I won't go any further if you don't want me to.
I could feel the hold of his mind-altering spell fade away, but I still felt hot. Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if I truly did want to give any more. James was so feeling the fluff of the ass. Keep going, guys. Oh, stop. Should we keep going? I opened the opportunity and I was enjoying it as much as he was. I wanted more and I was going to let him keep going. He promised not to go far, but that wasn't far enough for me. I gently leaned in and kissed him, giving him silent approval to keep going. I could feel him pull on the tail of my bow, releasing it and letting it flow, his hands off from around my neck. He moved the ribbon to the empty seat before gently unbuttoning the top half of my blouse, going no lower than above my stomach. The desire in my body drove me to move the sleeves of my shirt down my arms, escaping from it and letting the shirt hang around my belly. As he began to ravish my neck and shoulders in hot kisses, I leaned my head back and let a pleasurable sigh escape my lips. The pull in my body from him draining my energy had slowed immensely, almost completely stopping. However, James kept touching and kissing me regardless. He was full, but he was as hot as I was, and kept loving on my skin and on me. I couldn't even comprehend how much time he spent making out. I was so lost in pleasure that I didn't care. Call it sinful, but I didn't care. I loved it. His touch, his kiss, his heat. I desired it beyond anything at that moment. Even as he lowered his kisses down my chest, just above my bra. My heart was beating wildly in my chest. Something about James drew me to him like a moth to a flame. I didn't know if it was his aura or his superiority or his gentle smile. But something made my heart quicken for him. It couldn't have been love, but it was too passionate to be lust. What was it? However, I began to feel dizzy, seeing the ceiling starting to spin, and almost wildly I gripped onto James's shoulder, trying to signal him to stop. But my mind faded to black before I could let out another sound. I felt good. I didn't care that I was blacked out. I felt warm and fuzzy in the darkness. I never knew indulging in that kind of passion would be that good. I now just wanted to awaken, hopefully in a good way. My eyes eventually fluttered open, adjusting to the sight around me. I felt familiar silk underneath me, letting me know that I was in my bed. I slowly sat up, stretching from the tiredness that still lingered. I felt very soft pain on my neck and shoulder, and I could feel my swollen lips pulse gently and healing. However, when I looked down at my body, I saw that my shirt had been pulled back up and rebuttoned. As if nothing happened between me and James. I was just missing my ribbon. Before I turned to get out of bed, though, I spotted my ribbon on the pillow, beside the one I slept on. It was tied in a nice bow around a red rose that was freshly bloomed, with a small note attached to it. I gently slipped the note from the tie and opened it to read it.
I apologize for indulging myself as I did. I hope that you will not dislike me when you awaken.
I stared the note, unbelieving what I read. Why would I dislike him? I let it happen and I enjoyed it. It was cute, though, to imagine him asking for forgiveness for something we both did and enjoyed. I brought the rose to my nose and gently inhaled it as its soft fragrance. I indulged myself too, James. I looked at the time and curiosity. The large white numbers on my phone showed 5:31 p.m. Yikes! 4 hours of being knocked out, and I still feel tired. It was Sunday, so I was allowed to sleep longer if I wanted to. So, guys, I'm going to end the stream right here. My throat is starting to get a little dry. And I hope you guys come back very soon, because I'm going to be starting another live stream sometime around 5 p.m. to start a new game. And this is just to rest my throat, and maybe around 8 I might start this up again. But for right now, the stream is going to end, and I hope to see you guys again around 5 for another game, and maybe around 8 to start this again, but we'll see.